Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, and the show just ended. This show sucked tonight. This show was absolutely awful. What do we get on the show tonight? We had Kevin Owens versus Sikoa, Bianca Belair versus Carmella, and Omos. Yeah, Omos was in action tonight. God help us. And he ended up taking on Dolph Ziggler in a glorious match. Said nobody. Now we had Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor. We had Piper Niven versus Nikki Cross. Chad Gable took on Baron Corbin. And in the main event, it was Sami Zayn versus USO. And we also saw the return of Cena tonight, which was the only good thing of Monday Night Raw tonight. Out of that, everything was just awful. But overall, Monday Night Raw, terrible, awful show it was. I mean, we went from AEW Revolution last night, which was a great show, to Raw tonight, and it is absolutely fucking awful. What a steep dive from AEW Revolution last night. But anyways, before I get into the review, if you guys haven't checked out my previous video, my AEW Revolution review is up. So if you guys want to check out my review of AEW Revolution, definitely check it out. So upload it earlier today. But let's jump right into the review. Monday Night Raw opened up tonight, and we went backstage. And this was shot earlier in the day. We saw our SUV end up pulling into the TD Garden. And out of the SUV came Jimmy Uso, Sikoa, and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman ended up saying that the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, was very explicit on SmackDown on Friday to solve the Sami Zayn problem. But Sami Zayn ended up escaping, and that Sami Zayn is here in Boston. So Paul Heyman ended up saying whether or not his brother comes to his senses, Jimmy Uso will solve the Sami Zayn problem, just like Sikoa will solve the Kevin Owens problem. So we had Jimmy Uso and Sikoa end up walking off, while Paul Heyman with them. So Paul Heyman ended up getting his phone, and he ended up telling his phone to call the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. So pretty much that was basically that. And then we had the first match of the night. Kevin Owens versus Sikoa. And this was a decent match here. Kevin Owens ended up coming out first, and then Sikoa. So as Sikoa ended up coming into the ring, Kevin Owens ended up viciously attacking him, and the bell didn't even ring. Kevin Owens ended up sending Sikoa into the barricade, and he started punching away at Sikoa. Sikoa ended up reversing the whip into the ring post. Kevin Owens ended up hit it hard, with the ring post. Sikoa started punching away at Kevin Owens, and Sikoa ended up sending Owens hard into the ring post again. Owens then rolled into the ring, and the referee ended up ringing the bell, so the match got underway. Kevin Owens then ended up spearing Sikoa, started punching away at him. Sikoa ended up sending Kevin Owens into the ropes, and Sikoa delivered a back elbow. Sikoa started stomping away at Owens, and then Sikoa started choking Owens on the ropes. Kevin Owens fought back. He ended up hitting the ropes, but Sikoa ended up hitting the spin wheel kick. Sikoa started punching away at Owens and kicked Owens in the spine. Kevin Owens started punching Sikoa back, but Sikoa ended up flooring Owens with a stiff right hand. So Sikoa ended up going for the cover, and Kevin Owens ended up kicking out. Owens started punching Sikoa, and it upset Sikoa, which Sikoa ended up kicking Owens down. Sikoa started stomping away at Kevin Owens, and Sikoa ended up trying to drag Owens to the center of the ring, but Owens ended up holding the ropes. Sikoa started stomping away at Owens' midsection. He then raked the eyes of Kevin Owens in the corner. Owens ended up kicking Sikoa back, and he started punching him. Owens ended up pinning the ropes, but Sikoa ended up turning Owens inside out with a knee to his midsection. So Kevin Owens actually took a low blow there from Sikoa. So Sikoa ended up hitting a falling headbutt to Kevin Owens. So Sikoa ended up going for the cover, and Owens kicked out at 2. So Sikoa then applied a rear chin lock, of course, to slow down the match because WWE loves their chin locks. So Kevin Owens ended up quickly fighting up, started punching out of the chin lock. Sikoa ended up reversing the whip. He lowered his head, and he ended up eating a kick from Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens then hit 2 clotheslines to Sikoa, which didn't take Sikoa down. Kevin Owens started stomping at Sikoa's foot and kicked him, and he ended up taking Sikoa down with a clothesline, and then Kevin Owens ended up hitting a senton splash. Owens got fired up for a cannonball in the corner, but Sikoa ended up getting out of the ring. Owens ended up following Sikoa and clotheslined him down. So Owens ended up climbing up to the top rope, and then Jimmy Uso quickly ended up running down to ringside. He distracted Owens. Sikoa then ended up slamming Owens off the ropes. Then Sikoa ended up smashing Owens in the corner with a running hip attack. Owens ended up rolling out of the ring, and Sikoa ended up hitting a running hip attack into the LED barricade to Owens. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Sikoa was in control of the match. He ended up putting Kevin Owens on the top rope. Sikoa ended up setting up for a superplex, but Owens ended up fighting him off, and Owens ended up elbowing Sikoa in the head. Owens ended up getting down and charged at Sikoa, but Sikoa ended up flooring Kevin Owens with a Samoan drop, and then Sikoa ended up going for the cover. Owens ended up kicking out. Owens ended up getting up in the corner. Sikoa ended up charging for an avalanche, but Sikoa ended up hitting the ring post because Kevin Owens ended up moving out of the way. Owens then ended up taking Sikoa down with a DDT. Owens ended up punching back at Sikoa, but Sikoa ended up delivering an uppercut to Owens. Sikoa then ended up charging at Owens, but Sikoa ended up hitting the ring post shoulder first because Owens moved out of the way. Owens then ended up going for a stunner. Sikoa ended up pushing Owens off. Owens then started punching Jimmy Uso off the apron. Owens then super kicked Sikoa and knocked him into the corner. Owens connected with a swanton, and he ended up going for the cover, but Jimmy Uso broke up the pin, which caused a disqualification. So then Jimmy started punching away at Kevin Owens. So post-match, both Jimmy and Sikoa started attacking Kevin Owens. Jimmy ended up sending Owens into the ring steps. Sikoa then cleared off the commentary table and attacked Owens. Sikoa ended up setting up for a splash through the table to Kevin Owens, but Sami Zayn ended up running down to make the save. Sami Zayn ended up attacking Jimmy from behind and took out Sikoa. Sami Zayn then grabbed a steel chair, swung it at Sikoa, but Sikoa ended up running away. Jimmy Uso ended up also avoiding a chair shot and ran into the crowd. So the crowd started chanting for Sami. So Kevin Owens was in the ring. He was down in the corner. Sami Zayn then looked at Owens and offered a hand to help him. So Owens ended up thinking about it, but Owens pulled himself out of the ring and walked off, which got boos from the crowd. So Sami Zayn looked sad. He put his head down, disappointed, sad, and sad. But pretty much that was basically that. Overall, decent little match with Kevin Owens and Sikoa. Obviously, it was going to end in a disqualification because neither guy could have lost. And then we saw Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley ended up saying that he came to SmackDown to face Bray Wyatt like a man. But instead, Bray Wyatt sent out Uncle Howdy to do his dirty work. So Lashley ended up daring Bray Wyatt to face him like a man. So we saw Bray Wyatt's video flash in the background. Lashley didn't even notice that. Pretty much that was that. More setup for Bray Wyatt and Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania, which, who cares about that match? I don't even give a shit. It's going to be a bathroom break. Same for Omos and Brock Lesnar. And then we had Byron Saxton. Byron Saxton was backstage with Carmella. And Byron Saxton ended up asking Carmella about facing Bianca Belair. Carmella ended up telling Byron Saxton that Adam Pearce only gave her that match to get her out of his non-existent hair. Carmella then ended up saying that she'll embarrass Bianca. And then Chelsea Green ended up walking up to Carmella. Chelsea Green ended up putting Carmella over. And Carmella ended up saying to Chelsea that she should be in her corner for a match with Bianca tonight. Pretty much that was that. So again, this whole, friendship between Carmella and Chelsea Green. Watch, they'll become a tag team at some point. And then we have Bianca Belair versus Carmella. This was boring. This was absolutely boring. Match ended up starting with Carmella taking Bianca Belair down. Bianca Belair easily kicked up and wagged her finger at Carmella. Of course, Chelsea Green was at ringside. She accompanied Carmella. So Bianca ended up hooking a side headlock on Carmella. Carmella whipped Bianca off, but Bianca easily delivered a shoulder tackle to Carmella, knocking her down. Bianca then cartwheeled over Carmella, and she leapfrogged on Carmella, started charging at her, but Carmella ended up pulling the ropes down to get Bianca out of the ring. Carmella started kicking Bianca away, ended up snapping Bianca off the ropes. Carmella then took Bianca down by her hair and started taunting the crowd. So we had Bianca end up leapfrogging over Carmella, started taunting her. She backflipped over Carmella and drop kicked her down. So Carmella ended up grabbing Bianca, but Bianca ended up knocking Carmella back. Carmella then ripped Bianca off the middle rope and slammed her down. So then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Carmella was in control of the match. She ended up clinching in the chin lock. Bianca Belair ended up fighting up, and she ended up going for a scoop slam. Carmella ended up sliding off, ended up pulling Bianca down by her braid. Carmella ended up going up to the top rope, hit a high cross body block, but Bianca ended up rolling through and powered Carmella up. Carmella then pulled Bianca's braid, but Bianca ended up cutting her off. Carmella then ended up going for a head scissor takeover, to which Bianca countered with a backbreaker. Bianca then ended up hitting a handspring standing moonsault, but Chelsea Green distracted the ref. Bianca then pulled Chelsea Green into the ring, and as she pulled Chelsea Green into the ring, Carmella then kicked Bianca Belair. Carmella ended up going for the cover, and Bianca kicked out. So, at the end of the match, we had Bianca Belair end up quickly hitting the KOD on Carmella. So she ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Bianca Belair ended up winning the match. Post-match, Chelsea Green ended up attacking Bianca from behind, and then Carmella and Chelsea Green double-teamed on Bianca. And then Asuka made her way out to the ring. Asuka did not have the face paint on her. She was not dressed to compete. So Asuka stared down at both Carmella and Chelsea Green. So Asuka then spit blue mist into Chelsea Green's eyes because Carmella was in front. Carmella moved out of the way and Asuka spit the blue mist at Chelsea Green's eyes. So Carmella and Chelsea Green end up running away. Both Asuka and Bianca end up staring at each other, and then they both looked at the WrestleMania sign, and pretty much that was basically that. But overall, this match was awful. It was boring. But Bianca and Asuka at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship, should be a pretty good match, in my opinion. And then we had Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was walking backstage, and he ended up finding Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he doesn't know what else he has to do. So he ended up saying that the bloodline is too much for one person, and that their history is complicated. Sami Zayn ended up telling Kevin Owens that they don't need to be best friends, but they have the same objective, and neither of them can do it alone, and that they can do it together. So Sami then begged Kevin Owens to listen to him. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he knows how the bloodline works. Kevin Owens then ended up saying to Sami Zayn that he remembers Sami Zayn staking his claim in this arena. So Kevin Owens ended up saying that he remembers that. He ended up saying that they're too much for one man to fight. Owens ended up saying that he has fought the bloodline for 8 months, and that maybe they could do this together. And Kevin Owens ended up saying that he doesn't want to do this with Sami Zayn. He ended up saying maybe he was wrong, and maybe Sami Zayn can just go back to the tribal chief Roman Reigns if he strokes his ego enough. So Kevin Owens ended up telling Sami Zayn to just leave him out of it. So Sami Zayn looked disappointed, and he ended up walking off. And pretty much that was basically that. But you all know that it's going to happen. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to reunite, and they're going to face the Usos at WrestleMania for the titles. So you already know that that's going to be coming. And it's going to be a very emotional moment when that happens, when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn reunite. And then we had the face-to-face between Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. Great. So we had The Miz in the ring. The Miz ended up saying that in preparation for his hosting duties at WrestleMania, he's going to moderate this event. Miz ended up saying that he cannot let his bias get in the way. He ended up saying if anyone has an issue with that, they shouldn't have used his phone to set it up. So Miz ended up introducing Logan Paul. Logan Paul came out to boos from the crowd. Miz ended up going for a handshake, but Logan Paul sidestepped him. And then Seth Rollins ended up coming out. Seth Rollins came out with a ridiculous trench coat. He looked like a fucking candy cane in that. So the crowd started singing away to Rollins' theme song. Miz ended up holding his hand up, and of course he does his, "Oh, do you know what this means? When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut." Typical Miz. So the crowd didn't listen to Miz. They still kept on singing Rollins' theme song. So Miz ended up saying that they need to listen to him. Rollins ended up putting Miz's mic down, and he let the crowd continue to sing his theme music. So Logan Paul got on the mic. He ended up saying to Boston that this segment has a time limit, so they need to shut up. So the crowd did not stop, and they instead booed Logan Paul, which great, he deserves all the boos. I don't know why he's still with WWE. This guy doesn't even deserve to be in a wrestling ring. So the crowd end up going back to singing Rollins' theme music, and Rollins ended up greeting Boston. He ended up telling them to look at what the cat dragged in. He ended up saying, live and in flesh, he's gracing us with his presence. And he ended up introducing Logan Paul. So the crowd ended up booing Logan Paul. Logan Paul, I don't know why WWE still continues to have him on TV with the allegations that, he had. But we had a Logan sucks chant pick up. Rollins ended up saying that it sounds like Boston knows who Logan Paul is. He ended up saying even though they've had their run-ins for the past couple of months, they haven't been formally introduced. Rollins ended up saying to Logan Paul that he is a revolutionary and a visionary, and that he is Seth Rollins. So the crowd started singing Rollins' song again. Logan Paul ended up saying that he knows who Rollins is. He's the guy he dumped at the Royal Rumble and stomped at Elimination Chamber. Logan Paul ended up saying that he doesn't know what Rollins' problem is with him. He ended up saying maybe because he embarrassed him twice, or did more in 1 year than he's done in 20. Logan Paul ended up saying that he is better at this than Rollins is. Yeah, okay. Well, Logan Paul, he was awful on the mic. Absolutely awful. So Logan Paul ended up saying that he's on his way in, and Rollins is on the way out. He ended up saying that he works harder and not smarter. So Logan Paul ended up saying that if he were Rollins, he wouldn't like him either. So The Miz ended up saying Logan Paul makes some good points. So, and I like what the crowd did here. We had a fuck you Logan chant pickup, which I was clapping away at that. So Rollins ended up saying Logan Paul does make some great points, but what he's missing is none of that is the reason they don't like him. So Rollins ended up saying that the people don't like Logan Paul because he is the scum of the earth, and that he is a coward, a troll, a fraud, and a human dumpster fire. Which I clapped away at that, what Rollins had to say about Logan Paul. And he ended up saying that they don't want Logan Paul in their house. I fully agree with Rollins there. Why is Logan Paul even in the WWE? So the crowd started loudly cheering at Rollins for what he said about Logan Paul. So Rollins ended up saying that Boston didn't come here to see them mince words, and that Boston is here to see Logan Paul get his pound of flesh. He ended up saying that the time for talk is over, and it's time to fight. So Logan Paul ended up staring at Rollins. Rollins took off his jacket. Miz ended up putting a stop to this. And Miz ended up saying that as the moderator, it's his job to make sure they don't fight tonight. So Logan Paul ended up telling Miz not to put words in his mouth. Logan Paul ended up saying that if he wants to fight Rollins tonight in Boston, then he's going to do it. So Logan Paul ended up saying that if he wants something, he's going to do it. So Logan Paul ended up saying that he isn't going to do that, and that he doesn't fight for free. Logan Paul ended up saying that he is a premium act. A premium act. Logan Paul thinks he's a comedian there. He ended up saying that he is definitely not going to fight for free in Boston, to which the crowd ended up booing him. Logan Paul ended up telling them to get real. However, he ended up saying that if the stage and the money were bigger, if they were somewhere with more star power, he'd consider it. So Miz ended up saying that he is the host of WrestleMania and could make Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania happen. Obviously, it's going to happen. So Rollins ended up asking if he could really make that happen. Rollins ended up asking what they're waiting for, and he ended up throwing Miz out of the ring. Logan Paul then ended up attacking Rollins and he kept going for Rollins' move, the stomp, to which Rollins avoided that, and he kept tackling Logan Paul into the corner. Miz jumped on Rollins' back, but Rollins ended up kicking Miz down. Logan Paul then knocked Rollins out with a big right hand, and then Rollins was knocked out. And I'm like, Rollins sold that for this fucking clown? So Logan Paul ended up saying that when Rollins wakes up, he should let him know about WrestleMania. So Logan Paul ended up saying, bye-bye, bitch. And he threw the mic at Rollins. And that was basically that. This segment was awful. Absolutely terrible. I don't give a shit about this match at WrestleMania. And Seth Rollins selling that right hand from Logan Paul. Selling that right hand from that fucking clown. Are you kidding me? Rollins should have easily knocked Logan Paul the hell out. But yet, he sold that right hand. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? God, awful. And then we had Omos versus Dolph Ziggler. Did you all care? Did you all care about this? I know I didn't. So Mustafa Ali was at ringside. He was holding up a sign that says, "We love Dolph" on it. So it was shown earlier today that Mustafa Ali told Dolph Ziggler that he got him a match against Omos. So yeah, thank you, Mustafa Ali, for making this awful match. But do I really need to say who won the match? You already know. Omos won. Tree slam on Dolph Ziggler. Who gives a shit? Who cares? Post-match, MVP got on the mic. He kept saying all the hype he needs to hype up the WrestleMania match between Brock Lesnar and Omos is what Omos just did. He kept saying that Lesnar should have never put his hands on him last week. And that the Nigerian Giant will tame the beast at WrestleMania. Who cares? Who cares? This is bathroom break number 1 at WrestleMania. Bathroom break number 2 will be Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt. Hell, I should even say, my bathroom break number 3 will be Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. 3 bathroom breaks from me at WrestleMania. Moving on. We go from Omos to the fucking Maximum Male Models. Yeah, we went from one awful thing to another awful thing here. So we saw Maxine Dupree, Marseille, and Mansois. And they were talking about Otis. Baron Corbin ended up coming up to them, and Baron Corbin ended up thinking that they were talking about him. Corbin ended up saying that he has been on a string of bad luck, and he needed that. So we had Maxine Dupree, Marseille, and Mansois end up telling Baron Corbin that they're talking about Otis. So we end up seeing, Chad Gable and Otis posing for Maxine Dupree, Marseille, and Mansois. You got them going, yeah, I want to see Otis and Chad Gable fucking posing. So Corbin ended up asking what Otis has that he doesn't. And they end up saying things like charisma and the it factor, as well as hair. So Corbin ended up saying, I look like Bruce Willis. So Mansois ends up shouting that Corbin is a troglodyte and not Bruce Willis. So Maxine ended up saying that if Corbin can take out the short, ugly one, who was Chad Gable, she'll consider taking him on. And that was that. Who cares? Get this Maximum Male Model shit off my TV. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we saw Jimmy USO. He was taping up backstage. Sikoa and Paul Heyman were with him. Paul Heyman ended up saying that Jimmy is going to be the one that solves the Sami Zayn problem. Jimmy ended up saying that he will make sure the tribal chief never hears the name of Sami again. He ended up saying to do this with all the pressure of having to bring Jey back to the bloodline by the end of the week is impressive. He ended up saying that if Jimmy doesn't, the tribal chief won't blame Paul Heyman or Sikoa. The tribal chief will blame Jimmy. So pretty much that was that. And then we had Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano. Finn Balor was accompanied by Damian Priest, Dominic, and Rhea Ripley. Johnny Gargano was accompanied by Dexter Lumis. And this was a pretty decent match here. So both Balor and Gargano end up locking up. Balor ended up quickly taking Gargano down. He ended up applying a side headlock, but Gargano ended up whipping Balor off. Balor quickly shoulder tackled Gargano. Gargano ended up taking Balor down, ended up applying a hammerlock. Balor then got to the ropes and elbowed Gargano in the face. Balor then applied an armbar. Gargano ended up fighting up, ended up pinning an arm drag into an armbar to Balor. Balor ended up fighting up, and he raked Gargano's face. Balor clubbed Gargano in the back and applied an armbar. Gargano ended up fighting out, ended up kicking Balor back, but Balor ended up quickly hitting the ropes and clotheslined Gargano down. Balor ended up putting Gargano in the corner and shouldered Gargano. Balor then ended up whipping Gargano into the opposite corner, but Gargano ended up booting Balor back. So Gargano ended up pinning a running hurricanrana and drop kicked Balor out of the ring. Balor then got startled by Dexter Lumis. And so because of that, Gargano ended up hitting Balor with a suicide dive. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Balor was in control of the match. He started stomping away on Gargano. Balor ended up going for a leap and stomp, but Gargano ended up booting him in the face. Balor then reversed the whip, and Gargano ended up ducking a clothesline and hit a running crossbody. Gargano took Balor down, ended up hitting the discus clothesline. So then Gargano knocked Balor out of the ring with a step-up enziguri. Gargano landed on the apron after Balor avoided a plancha. So Gargano ended up hitting Balor with a slingshot spear. So Gargano ended up going for the cover, and Balor kicked out. So we had Gargano end up hitting the ropes. He ended up going for a head scissor takeover. Balor countered that into a falling elbow drop to Gargano. So Balor ended up going for the cover, to which Gargano ended up kicking out. So Rhea Ripley distracted the referee, and Gargano ended up hitting Dominic with a cannonball off the apron. Gargano got into the ring. Balor ended up taking Gargano down, ended up hitting a double stomp to his midsection. Balor then ended up hitting the Woo dropkick, and he ended up going to the top rope. And then we heard Edge's music end up hitting. So Edge's music ended up hitting, got a big ovation from the crowd. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley end up waiting for Edge on the stage. So Edge came through the crowd. He shoved Balor off the top rope into the ropes. Gargano ended up hitting Balor with the one final beat. And so Gargano ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Johnny Gargano ended up winning the match. Post-match, Dexter Lumis ended up taking Damian Priest out at ringside. Edge got in the ring, and he split Balor in half with a spear. And then Edge ended up shouting, "This is not over," to Balor. So then Edge ended up leaving through the crowd, and that was basically that. But next week on Raw, we're going to get a face-to-face between Edge and Balor. And we're going to have probably Edge and Balor go at it at WrestleMania. Hopefully, it's a Hell in the Cell. That would be the best way for Edge and Balor to go at it. There was talks of maybe having Balor as the Demon end up returning at WrestleMania, and then having the Brood version of Edge. That would be great if that happens, at WrestleMania. Just get them, do a Hell in a Cell match, which I think is the best outcome for them, and just have that at WrestleMania. But overall, it was a decent match between Gargano and Balor. And then we got the announcement of the King and Queen of the Ring, which is going to be on May 27th, and it's going to be taking place in Saudi Arabia. So there you go. King and Queen of the Ring, official on May 27th. I wish we got it in June, just like how the King of the Ring was done every year in June back then. And then we have Byron Saxton. Byron Saxton caught up with Edge backstage. Edge ended up saying to Byron Saxton that 2 weeks ago, Balor cost him a match that he shouldn't have lost. Edge ended up saying, no disrespect to Johnny Gargano, but Balor shouldn't have lost the match tonight. Edge ended up saying that he is tired of the attacks and that he will be in the center of the ring next week. So Edge ended up telling Balor to meet him there. So pretty much that was that. So again, the face-to-face between Edge and Balor next week on Monday Night Raw. And then we had Nikki Cross versus Piper Niven. Yeah, that was the match. A snooze match. Piper Niven ended up winning the match. Black Hole Slam on Nikki Cross. That was that. Moving on. So we went backstage. And we saw Rick Boogs. Boogs was trying to lift a truck, but he had no success in lifting it. So Elias ended up walking up to Boogs. Boogs ended up freaking out that he doesn't have his notes. So Elias ended up saying that Boogs needs to do things on his own. He ended up telling Boogs to go over to Bronson Reed and say, I want to fight you. So Boogs ended up doing that. So Bronson Reed ended up coming over to Elias. He ended up saying that he'll fight Elias next week. And that's his funeral. Elias ended up asking Boogs what he said. And Boogs ended up saying that he told Reed that Elias wants to fight him. So Elias ended up saying to Boogs that he has a lot to learn. So there you go. We're getting Bronson Reed versus Elias next week. Bronson Reed going to win, of course. So then we had the announcement that Becky G will perform America the Beautiful on night 1 of WrestleMania on April 1st. So there you go. There's that little piece of news. And then we had the moment that everyone's been waiting for since last week. The return of John Cena on Monday Night Raw. John Cena ended up coming out. He came out to the stage, got an enormous pop from the crowd there in Boston. Cena looked into the camera. He kept saying that his regular cameraman had the day off and that he should be here to hear this. So Cena made his way into the ring. He got on the mic. And before Cena could say anything, Austin Theory made his way down to the ring. So Theory got into the ring and he encouraged the crowd to chant for Cena. Theory ended up saying that he has all the respect in the world for Cena. He kept saying that the people might not know this, but Theory only became a superstar because of Cena. He ended up saying that he used to watch Cena as a kid, with his mom. He ended up saying that Cena inspired him with his hustle, loyalty, and respect. So Theory ended up thanking Cena for that. So Theory ended up saying that he's coming out here with a gift for Cena. And that this is a gift from the bottom of his heart. And bigger than any movie role Cena will do. So Theory ended up saying, how about we do me versus you, John Cena, one-on-one at WrestleMania for the United States Championship. Cena thought about it. And Cena simply ended up saying no. Cena ended up saying that he took a second to think about it and thought it over. Cena ended up saying that he is not interested in Theory's gift because he hasn't earned the right to give it. Cena ended up saying that he has been watching and listening to Austin Theory, and that he just doesn't care. Just like every single person. We don't care about Austin Theory. He ended up saying why? They don't care about Theory because they don't believe in Theory. They don't believe Theory because Theory doesn't believe in him. He ended up saying that Theory is a generic kid out here in fancy sneakers wearing sunglasses indoors. But he has no heart. Cena ended up pointing out a sign that said Austin Theory is a John Cena wannabe. That Cena is the ghost of Christmas future for Theory. He ended up saying that Theory is in his ruthless aggression phase. He ended up saying that ruthless aggression almost got him fired. So Cena ended up saying that it was a great opportunity, but he didn't believe in himself. He ended up saying that Theory has received numerous opportunities, but it's not enough. Cena ended up saying that he has no heart and soul. Cena ended up saying that the people are here tonight out of respect for the past 20 years, and that they believe in him, and that they don't believe in Austin Theory. He ended up saying that Theory is a pair of trunks away from being a jabroni. Cena ended up saying that he is going to say something good now. He ended up saying that Theory has the best name in WWE history. So he ends up mentioning Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker. And Cena ended up saying that there's no name better than Austin Theory, because that's exactly what he is, a theory. Cena ended up saying that in theory, he should be great. He ended up saying that in theory, he's everything a WWE executive looks for. In theory, everyone here should be here to see him, but no one cares. You know what I'm saying? That no one cares to see Austin Theory, and that Theory is just wasting their time. So Cena ended up saying, so on behalf of Boston, we would like to give Austin Theory a gift. So Cena ended up telling Austin Theory to shut up, turn around, get out of the ring, and they'll let him walk out of here in one piece. So we had a loud Cena chant pick up from the crowd. Theory got on the mic. He ended up saying that he's not going anywhere, just like the bald spot on Cena's head isn't. Cena took off his hat, showed off the bald spot. Cena ended up saying that he's proud of the senior circuit. And Theory ended up saying that Cena has reverse on everything. So Theory ended up saying that he sees all these shirts for Cena that say, never give up. So he ended up saying that if John Cena is saying no, is Cena saying that he's giving up? He ended up saying the hat says respect. So he was like, where's the respect from the people? So he ended up saying that Cena has a golden ticket against the greatest United States champion at WrestleMania, and he's going to give it up. So Theory was like, where's the hustle? Where's the loyalty? Where's the respect? He ended up saying, don't they want to see John Cena at WrestleMania? Theory ended up telling the people to shut up because Cena said no. So Theory realized that Cena was his childhood hero. So Theory ended up saying, you don't want to meet your hero because their heroes always disappoint. So Cena put his head down. Cena ended up saying that he'd rather be bald than have them pipe in fake crowd noise because no one cares. He ended up saying that Theory is a dumb son of a bitch. So Cena ended up saying that he didn't say no because he has given up. He said no to save Austin Theory because he ended up saying that Theory is not ready. He ended up saying that if they have a match at WrestleMania and that Austin Theory loses everything. And he's done. So Cena ended up saying that if Theory wins at WrestleMania, he still loses everything. He ended up saying that Theory can win the day, but he'll have to go out on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania all alone and explain. And Cena ended up telling Theory that the audience will eat him alive, and they'll see what he sees. He ended up saying that Austin Theory is full of crap. Cena ended up saying that Austin Theory really left him no choice because he brought the crowd into it. So Cena then ended up asking Boston and saying, oh, do you want to see John Cena versus Austin Theory at WrestleMania, which they all popped at. So Cena then ended up thanking his family for being there tonight because it means a lot to him. So Cena ended up saying that his hair isn't just going, so is his hearing. So Cena ended up asking the Boston crowd again if they want to see him versus Austin Theory at WrestleMania. So they end up responding. Cena ended up saying that he may not care about Austin Theory, but he'll never give up on them. Cena ended up telling Theory to remember this moment because he just made the biggest mistake of his life. Cena ended up saying that at WrestleMania it's going to be Austin Theory versus John Cena. So Cena wished Theory luck because he doesn't have the brains, heart, or balls. So Cena's music ended up playing. Cena stopped his music playing, and Cena ended up saying that he really needs to work on that last bit. Cena walked off and stopped, and he ended up saying that in no way, shape, or form is Austin Theory ready for WrestleMania. And Cena ended up saying that Boston deserves to see someone that is ready for WrestleMania. So Cena introduced Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes came out, got a big reception from the crowd. Cena and Cody end up embracing on the stage. Cena ended up holding Cody Rhodes' arm up, and that was basically that. But overall, I thought this was a very good segment here with John Cena return to Monday Night Raw, giving his answer to Austin Theory on if Theory wants to fight him at WrestleMania. Liked what Cena had to say to Theory, saying that Theory's not ready for WrestleMania, and that if he wins at WrestleMania, he still loses everything, and that if Cena beats Theory, he loses everything, and that he's done. So I really liked what Cena had to say all about that. He's speaking the truth. And then we had Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly ended up finding Sami Zayn backstage, and she ended up asking Sami Zayn for comments about facing Jimmy Uso and being rejected by Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn ended up saying that Kevin Owens is right about what happened at War Games, but everything has changed now. He ended up saying that the one guy who had his back through thick and thin in Jimmy Uso now has to take him out. He ended up saying that if Jimmy can't take him out, then it's the end of him. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he has to see the end of the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, and that tonight will not be Jimmy Uso's night. So pretty much that was basically what Sami Zayn had to say. And then we had Chad Gable versus Baron Corbin. Did I give a shit? No. Chad Gable ended up winning the match. Ankle lock on Baron Corbin. That was that. Moving on. So we had the WrestleMania vignette with The Miz and Maurice. They were doing a parody of Top Gun Maverick with them in it. So we saw that. So then it was made official. Seth Rollins will take on Logan Paul at WrestleMania. That will be my third bathroom break at WrestleMania, just watching that match. And then we had Becky Lynch and Lita. They end up coming down to the ring, the new Women's Tag Team Champions. Becky Lynch got on the mic. She ended up saying, when a couple of legends stand side by side, they don't miss. Lita got on the mic. She ended up saying that when Becky gave her the opportunity to go for the tag team titles, you have two choices. Pass on it or make history, as they do. She ended up saying that Dakota Kai and Io Sky didn't make it easy, but they made it worth it. So we had a "You Deserve It" chant pick up from the crowd. Lita ended up saying that as Becky Lynch's friend and partner, she ended up thanking Becky. So she ended up saying that there's a special equalizer they haven't thanked yet. So then out came Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus made her way down to the ring, Hall of Famer. Trish Stratus got on the mic. She ended up saying that she's so happy to see Becky and Lita as the champions. Trish Stratus ended up saying that she had to come out and put a stop to Bayley. So then Damage Control end up making their way down to the ring. Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and Bayley. Bayley got on the mic. She ended up saying all they got was another trophy for their cases at their expense. But she sees through them. Trish Stratus ended up saying that she can go from retired to was retired very quickly. Trish Stratus ended up saying that she loved to shut Bayley up. And she ended up challenging Damage Control to a match at WrestleMania. To which Bayley ended up accepting, which that upset Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Both Dakota Kai and Io Sky ended up trying to attack Trish Stratus and Lita, but they were quickly knocked out of the ring. Becky Lynch and Bayley ended up going face to face. Becky ended up blocking a right hand from Bayley, and Becky ended up delivering a punch to Bayley. And Lita and Trish Stratus ended up each getting a punch in to Bayley, and then Damage Control ended up retreating out there, and pretty much that was basically that. But this all sets up a 6-woman tag at WrestleMania, so it's going to be Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus versus Damage Control. So that's where they're going with this. It's going to be a 6-woman tag at WrestleMania. And then we saw what we're going to see next week on Monday Night Raw, where we're going to have the face-to-face between Edge and Balor. Going to have Elias versus Bronson Reed, and Bianca Belair versus Chelsea Green. So we're going to see all that next week on Monday Night Raw. Main event, Jimmy Uso versus Sami Zayn. Jimmy Uso was accompanied by Sikoa, and this was a pretty decent main event here. So the match ended up starting. Sami Zayn took Jimmy down with some punches. Sami then clotheslined Jimmy over the top rope. Jimmy quickly started punching Sami Zayn, sending him into the barricade. Sami Zayn ended up hitting a back body drop to Jimmy into the timekeeper's area. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Jimmy was in control of the match. He started trash talking to Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn fought back with some right hands. Jimmy ended up reversing the whip into the corner, and Sami Zayn ended up booting Jimmy. Sami Zayn kicked Jimmy in the face a few times and delivered a tornado DDT, to which Sami Zayn ended up going for the cover, and Jimmy kicked out. So Sami Zayn ended up coming off the top rope with a cross-body block. He ended up going for another cover, to which Jimmy kicked out. Sami Zayn continued to fight Jimmy, but Jimmy ended up sending Sami Zayn out of the ring. So Sikoa was lurking nearby. The referee wasn't having that. So the referee ejected Sikoa from ringside. So it was just Jimmy and Sami Zayn going one-on-one. Sami Zayn then ended up hitting Jimmy with the Blue Thunder Bomb. Sami ended up going for the cover, and Jimmy ended up kicking out. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Sami ended up going to the top rope. Jimmy ended up kicking Sami in the face. Sami ended up pushing Jimmy away and jumped, and Jimmy ended up kicking Sami out of midair. So all of a sudden, Jey Uso made his way down to the ring through the crowd, so Jey showed up. So Jimmy looked at Jey. Jimmy ended up ducking a haluva kick and punched away at Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn quickly rolled Jimmy up for the win. So there you go. Sami Zayn ended up winning the match. Post-match, Sami Zayn got out of the ring, stand in the entranceway. Jey got into the ring, and he looked at his brother, Jimmy. Jimmy looked all disappointed at Jey. Jey then approached his brother, and Jey had tears in his eyes. Jey put his hands on Jimmy's shoulders, and he ended up grabbing Jimmy's shirt. Jey was fighting back his emotions before walking off on Jimmy. Jey then left the ring and approached Sami Zayn. Jey looked at Jimmy before approaching Sami Zayn. Jey ended up saying to Sami Zayn, "I trust you." Jey then embraced Sami Zayn to a huge ovation. Jimmy ended up dropping to a knee, and Sami Zayn was fired up. Jey ended up holding one finger up, as did Sami. Sami ended up saying, "It's not too late, Jimmy." Then Jey kicked Sami Zayn down. So the crowd couldn't believe it. I believed it because I saw it coming a mile away. I don't know how these fans couldn't believe that. I don't understand how they didn't see that coming. I'm pretty sure everyone watching at home knew that that was coming from Jey. So Jey ended up shouting out Sami Zayn really thought he was going to choose him. Jey ended up throwing Sami into the ring, and the Usos ended up double teaming on Sami Zayn. So Sikoa ran down, joined in on being down on Sami Zayn. So Cody Rhodes quickly ran down to the ring, and he stood over Sami Zayn to protect him. So the bloodline ended up backing off, and pretty much that was how Monday Night Raw went off the air. But everybody was saying, "Oh, how come Kevin Owens didn't come out to save Sami Zayn?" It's not the right time yet. Cody Rhodes came out because he is going to be fighting Roman Reigns for the title at WrestleMania. So it makes sense why Cody came down there. He's dealing with the bloodline. But overall, it was a decent, main event between Jimmy and Sami Zayn. But, Jey ended up kicking Sami Zayn down. I knew that was coming. But overall, Monday Night Raw, awful show it was tonight. Absolutely terrible. But anyways, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Be sure to check out my review of AEW Revolution, which I posted earlier today if you guys haven't seen it. There will be no Dynamite review on Wednesday. So don't expect a Dynamite review on Wednesday. But until the next video, I'll see you all later.